first year and entered their second. If a student were to give way to the promptings and break bounds, then she was risking expulsion. So, why not make an occasion of it by going at night and bathing in the river by moonlight, dressed as nature intended? That, in a nutshell, was Molly's argument. They claimed to have done it before, those two. They said it had been the most exquisite experience they could remember. Harriet believed them. They were adventurous spirits, she was sure, and they had secrets. No two girls in the college were as close friends as they, and she was sure they had broken the rules before. Because they were so close, they had covered up for each other. Better than that, they had actually conspired to be favourites of the Plum. It was a privilege, really, to be invited to share in their escapade. She was slightly mystified why they should have chosen her of all the girls, but there it was. This and other thoughts occupied her as she lay fully clothed in bed that night, waiting for Henley Church faintly to chime the quarter hour past midnight. The Plum had long since made her tour of the building, checking that all bolts and catches were fastened. With luck, she would be asleep by now, secure in her brass bedstead in the room with the balcony at the front of the house. That balcony from which she liked to quiz the girls through her lorgnette as she basked in the sunshine with her two white cats. After a year at Elfrida, Harriet was less terrified of her than she had been at first, but she was still a formidable personage. A distinctly sour Plum. Just as she was beginning to fear she had not heard it, the single chime sounded. Minutes later, she was in the common room, releasing a long breath at having got down the stairs without causing one to creak. Molly and Jane were already at the window, easing it upwards with professional stealth. "You first," whispered Jane. Momentarily, as she drew her legs over the sill and felt for a foothold on the lawn outside, the uncomfortable thought crossed Harriet's mind that they might close the window behind her and leave her stranded. But she had misjudged them. Molly, slight and agile, sprang down beside her, and together they took Jane's hands and helped her out. They celebrated their liberty with a swift exchange of smiles and started running across the tennis lawn. Jane unfurled her bath towel and whirled it like a dervish in the centre of the court until Molly jerked her away, down through the trees towards the low stone wall that marked the edge of bounds without altogether obstructing the view of the river. They negotiated it easily, giggling now, for they were too far from the house to be heard, and raced down the slope to the row of willows beside the towpath. Chapter 2. Molly by Moonlight, Concerning Harriet's Hat, River Scene with Figures. "It couldn't have been easier, could it?" said Molly, already unfastening buttons. "Like peeling an orange," said Jane. "You say the funniest things, Jane. Peeling an orange, just when we're about to—" Harriet stopped in mid-sentence. Molly had stepped out of her dress and was standing naked in front of her. So was Jane. They could not have been wearing anything under their dresses. "Aren't you ready?" asked Molly, with a slight implication of censure. "My underclothes! I didn't think to leave them off." It was out of the question to ask them to wait, while she struggled several minutes more with stockings and stays. "I'll join you as soon as I'm ready." "Very well, then. We probably would get cold waiting." She watched as they stepped carefully off the bank, Jane markedly taller than Molly. In the water, reflected moonlight faintly underscored the areas of their anatomy nearest the surface. It occurred to Harriet what a silly spectacle they presented. With less enthusiasm, she lifted her day gown over her head. The conversation that presently carried across the water did little to salve her wounded feelings. "Is she still undressing?" "It doesn't surprise me. Harriet had a very proper upbringing. She wouldn't dream of coming out without her drawers on. I'm surprised she wasn't wearing a hat." This provoked a peal of laughter from